Welcome to Rewire Yourself Rich, the podcast for the woman who's done with temporary bullshit mindset shifts and ready for a full nervous system level identity upgrade. The woman who knows she was born to transform the world with her unique superpowers. I'm your host, Kelly Pender, wealth identity rewiring expert, intuitive mentor, and creator of the Rich Coded Method. In our world, we don't manifest like needy ass bitches. We re-encode the big fucking deal wealthy woman back into yourselves. We shift your DNA to remember who the fuck you are. Ready to become rich coded, getting paid to exist? Let's fucking go. Hello, my big fucking deal. Welcome back to another episode of the Rewire Yourself Rich podcast. We have Nicole Bain on the show today, who is a health and wellness coach and one of our Rich Coded Mastermind clients. And she is allowing you to break everyone else's bullshit rules or 4 a.m. wake ups or 11-step wellness rituals, throwing it all out the window to find wellness your way. This episode is incredible. She is going to allow you to become your healthiest and wealthiest self today. And Nicole is also one of our industry-leading headline speakers at the Rich Coded Revolution Summit, happening live on the 24th and 25th. You can also access the replay. Grab your no-cost ticket because she's diving into main character awakening to become your healthiest and wealthiest self inside the summit, where we can go deep beyond the podcast. Join her, myself, and 5 other incredible speakers where we are going to rewire your identity to unleash your millionaire movement in all areas of your life. We're going to recalibrate your nervous system, rewire your patterns to become rich in love and success. You're going to go from doubting yourself to being unfuckwithable. You're going to learn the viral astro code. So amazing. You're going to become the woman who embraces change to unlock infinite opportunities. And you're about to step into your big fucking deal wealth identity, remembering who the fuck you are and who you came here to be, leading your millionaire movement and running life and business your fucking way. That link is in the show notes to grab your no-cost ticket. Make sure you grab your ticket now because this is valued at over $2,000. You can get it for free, and access to the replay will be available for only a few days after we go live. After that, it will be paid. I'm so excited to see you at the Rich Coded Revolution Summit. And without further ado, let's dive into this episode with Nicole. Yay, Nicole. I'm so excited to have you on the pod. Thank you so much for being here with me today. We're going to have so much fun.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited. I feel like this has been a long time coming, and I cannot wait to chat with you.
Yes, let's dive in. Okay, so Nicole is one of my mastermind clients and just a gem of a human being and soul sister. And I invited her on the podcast because I love you. I love your work. I love the movement that you're creating, and your voice gets to be heard and really shared with the world. And the one question I always ask my guests so that we can be activated ourselves is, what was it that allowed you to become a health and wellness coach?
Yeah, so my journey, I actually started out in the corporate world. I'm actually an accountant, I'm a CPA. So I started off in a very corporate environment. I always thought that was kind of, when you have something in your mind and you think that's your path and that's the only way, that is sort of where I was coming out of university. So I was in this very high stress, very demanding job, and something just felt missing. Like, when people say that they feel like their soul is being sucked in from a job, that is what was happening, unfortunately. And in my house growing up, I have a beautiful role model, my lovely mom. She is a Reiki master. So she's been doing Reiki for about almost like 25 years now. So I grew up in a very spiritual household. Energy was always talked about. I was very connected to that side of me. So
Mhm.
having that contrast, being in this job where it just felt soulless, it felt like my fire was kind of being tamed or dimmed out.
Yeah.
And with the contrast of knowing my soul wanted more, I had been connected to my spiritual side my whole life. And so really when I sort of took some time to reflect on, is this the direction I want my life to go? Is this how I want it to be? And my soul, it was almost like a calling, like No, there is so much more. I remember I had an epiphany moment. I had a job interview, and one of the questions was, I think I asked, like, what does the bonus structure look like? Or what is the incentive structure? And they said, oh, well, we look at your performance based on XYZ and we sort of determine. And I had had a previous experience at my past job where someone was in the position based on pure their perspective, not the truth, not the real facts
Mm.
of what I was bringing to the table, but they were in a position that they could determine my success or my how much the company saw me, and I just hated that. So in this job interview, when they said that my money or my wealth building capacity was based on or capped at their perspective, that was when I knew I literally had an epiphany moment that I would never allow my success to be determined by someone else or something outside of me.
Yeah.
And I went on a walk and I just sort of had this download, this meditative moment. And I wrote down, I said, I do not want to be ordinary. I want to be extraordinary. I'm not
Mm.
staying on this ordinary path. I'm not giving away my success to anyone else. I want to do what my soul is craving and I want to help people. So I called my mom and I said, Mom, I think I'm going to quit my job. I want to come work for you. I have no idea how this is going to work. I I don't know, but I know this needs to happen. And she said, oh my goodness, of course. So I went on to work with my mom's energy healing business. And then from there, when we were really building that out, an opportunity came for me to actually go back to school and become a registered health and wellness coach. And we
Mm.
always had this vision of, as I mentioned, very spiritual side, doing the inner work, having this energy healing. But now diving into this world of health and wellness coaching, really the action steps you're taking in your everyday. How are you showing up and building a healthy lifestyle? So once I
Mhm.
got that certification, we really had this vision to marry the two and have whole person, holistic transformation, doing the work on the inside with this amazing, life changing energy work that my mom does, and also working with me, guiding you to be your healthiest, wealthiest self in the everyday. And so that is where I am now. And that is my journey to how I got here. I'm just lit up. I'm smiling so much right now, even talking about it, because I'm so passionate about it. And just even thinking about past me, where I was, if she could see where I was now, I just know she would be so proud and just happy and free. And that is how I'm feeling. And I am very proud of
Mhm.
myself. So, yeah, that is my journey and how I got here.
Oh my God. So proud. I literally feel a little tear coming out of my eye. See, that story right there, I'm like, girl, the microphone is in your hand. You belong on stages because honestly, that what you just shared is like, oh, I get to have this. I get to follow that call, that whisper that I'm meant for something more. And that permission slip, I mean, just think about it. If you never allowed yourself to listen to that download, you would still be in that soul sucking job. And look at just by making that one decision, look what has transpired from there. Like that is fucking incredible. And that gets to be celebrated.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, no, it is so powerful. The power that is held in each and every decision, to know that you are one decision away from living the life you've always dreamed about. It sounds so simple, but when we break down that story and literally what you just said, it was in that moment, that one decision is what led me here and brought me to me literally living my dream life. So I'm so grateful.
Oh, I love it. This is amazing. And I obviously love your message because, say you go on Pinterest and it's like, okay, I want to become healthier and live my best life. And then we always see here's your 21 step ritual and here's how you're going to do this and you're going to get up at 4:30 a.m. and take your ice bath and do this and we're like no thank you. So I love that you teach us how to find wellness your way, and it's all about our unique individual bodies and selves. And I'd love for you to tell us more about how we can begin to find wellness our way, and it's not a one size fits all cookie cutter approach like we maybe thought it was.
Yes, I love this. So, I actually just hosted a workshop called Main Character Camp. And in this, we were really discussing what it means to be a main character. And similar to what we just said, it's about you deciding, you making the choices for you You're not the side character. You're not the background character being pushed around and being directed. You are the main character making the decisions for you. And so with the health and wellness industry or social media, we're so constantly flooded with, okay, these are the 5 things you need to do. This is the way you can get this body, or this is the way you can lose 10 pounds. And it always seems like it's only one way. It's their way, and they're telling you what to do and how to get there. And great, that worked for them. Amazing. I'm so happy it worked for them. But it is wellness and health in our bodies and our lives. There is not a one size fits all, as you mentioned. And if you try to implement the steps, the exact steps, the roadmap that they followed, these 5 steps, these 5 things, go to the gym 6 times a week and lift heavy and go for runs and all these things, and you're trying to show up in that way, if your body, if that's not what your body is craving, if that's not what your preferences and your unique interests and just favorite, if that is not one of your favorite things, it is going to feel like hell. Regardless if you're showing up every day, day in, day out, you're doing all the things, you're going to feel exhausted. It's going to feel like such a hustle, such a grind that even, well, you're not going to get to the results you want because your soul's not in it. It's such a struggle, and it's not the way that you're going to get there. So you're going to be in this constant loop of forcing yourself to show up because you don't want to. You don't feel like going on a run because you don't like running and it hurts your knees, right? And then if you force yourself, you're going to get injured, or you're just going to the motivation is not there because you are literally torturing yourself doing something you do not like. And
Yes.
so, yes, so the way to really find wellness your way is dropping all the rules, dropping all the shoulds, everything you've heard that you should be doing, and this is the way. Literally drop all of that and tune inward. When you listen to yourself on what, like I was mentioning, your preferences, what do you like? What do you do for fun? What brings you joy? When you tune into that and what you like, that's when you're going to want to show up. That's when you're going to say, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to do this activity because it is my favorite thing. And that's my highlight of my day. And you go and you effortlessly are moving your body and working out, or whatever you're doing. You're showing up effortlessly because you want to. You're not forcing
Mhm.
yourself. You're not doing it because you think you should. You're there because you want to. And when you build a routine around that in an approachable, attainable, and sustainable way, you're going to want to show up, and it is just going to become your life. It's going to become who you are because you're showing up in your authenticity, in your unique way that's going to work for you to become your healthiest, wealthiest self. Not what
Mm.
other people are doing. You're not punishing yourself, you're not forcing yourself to do things. You're doing it your way, and you're realizing it's actually really fun. You like doing this, it feels good, and then you just keep the cycle going, right? You're filling up your own cup. So,
Mm.
yes, that is the well your way, really the foundational um, message behind it is really tuning into you and listening to what your body, your unique body and mind is craving, and to deliver it that rather than deprive it of those things.
Yes. Oh, I love this. So it sounds like we should all get off of Pinterest. We should all get off of TikTok. We should all stop following these rules because it worked for someone else doesn't mean that it's going to work for you if it doesn't feel good and if it feels forced. So tell us what habits, what rituals that can spark some inspiration for us that feel good for us that maybe if it feels good, we can start implementing into our lives.
Yes. So, in terms of habits, I love to view us, well, not even view us because it's just a fact. We are holistic beings. And when
Mhm.
we are thinking about becoming our healthiest, wealthiest selves, that doesn't just mean working on your fitness or eating better. That's great. That's definitely aspects of it. But there's so much more to us as a whole being, like stress, dealing with
Mhm.
self-love and confidence, dealing with, there's so many other aspects of habits we can build to show up as the version we want to. And so some of the little habits or sprinkling little action items you can start to pull in and really think about how you want to implement in your life. One of my biggest things, which I was mentioning, tuning into what you find fun and things like that, is
Mhm.
thinking about a passion that you had growing up as a kid. That could have been you going to your dance class. Maybe that was your jam. You were in your dance class, you're in the flow. That was your happy place. You loved it. Maybe it was going to your soccer league and you were an amazing athlete, and that when you were on the field, you were just feeling so good. Maybe it was going for bike rides. Maybe it was arts and crafts. Whatever it is, whatever filled up your cup, that
Mhm.
is what is in your authentic self DNA. That is what is your
Mm.
true calling. And so often, as we become or as we grow into adulthood, we forget that. We forget the childlike joy. We
Yep.
forget the things that we like because life happens, things get busy. And guess what? If you want to work on your health, you're going to do what everyone else is doing. Okay, I'm just going to go to the gym because that's easy to fit in. And we forget what we actually like and what's actually fun. There are so many ways to move your body that is not just lifting weights or going for a run. And so my personal, I was mentioning the example of dance, and that was me. Growing up, I did competitive dance, and that was my happy place. I loved it so much. It was such a deep passion. And as I graduated high school and went off to university, same thing, you kind of just drop it. You let go of the dream. You think, okay, in adulthood, I can't do that.
Yep.
It's like a limiting belief almost. Society kind of teaches you you're not a kid anymore.
Mhm.
You can't do that anymore. So
Yep.
it was in my actually just a few years ago that I tapped into this and said, "Wow, I really want to feel that joy. I want to feel that flow state again. How can I fill up my own cup?" And so I enrolled in adult ballet classes. It is the highlight of my week. It is an hour and a half. Time is non-existent. I am just going through the moves, laughing with my teacher, having the best time. And guess what? I'm now marrying my passion, my flow state, my fun with moving my body, and my body
Mm.
responds. I'm not trying, I'm not forcing. I am genuinely craving to move my body in that way.
Mhm.
And here I am, if you want to call it a workout or a movement, there I am showing up as my best self, moving my body, working towards my healthiest, wealthiest self in a way that feels so good and fun. So that is a really great action item or just something to think about for yourself in terms of starting to build your habits. Really think about, what am I passionate about, or what used to bring me so much joy that I could find
Mm.
now in adulthood? Because you may not think about it. We may have our sort of tunnel vision visors on that you don't think that
Yes.
activity or that sport is offered now. I guarantee you there is. The amount of classes, the amount of communities, things on the internet, things in your city or town, I guarantee whatever you are passionate about, there is a way to find it and implement it again. And so I invite you to really bring that back into your life, because who doesn't want to feel good, have fun, tap into joy, right?
Mhm.
Like, who
Mhm.
doesn't want that? So that is a really great action step, because then when you're tapping into your passion and more aligned with your authentic self, you're going to notice that in other areas of your life. You're going to notice that voice, that authentic voice guiding you towards what you actually like and what you actually want to do. And you're going to start to notice that in all areas. And if you notice that voice, you're going to tend to listen to it and show up differently in areas more authentically, more aligned with you, in ways that feel good, in ways that feel fun.
Yes. Ugh, I love that. That feels so much better than being like, go to the gym 4 times a week and stick to it. And if you don't, you're a failure.
Right? That's another big thing too, is really our society focusing on perfectionism, especially
Mm.
with creating habits and building a routine. Okay, you have to do it 4 times a week or 5 times a week, and you start that off in the get-go. And if you don't do it, you fail. So guess what? Try twice as hard next week. And if you don't do it, you fail. It's this constant cycle of
Yep.
punishment, of failure. And that does not feel good. Who wants to be constantly putting
Mhm.
themselves down, feel like they're behind? That's not how you're going to thrive. That's not how you're going to want to continue to show up. So, a
Yep.
big thing in my world, in my program, is really valuing consistency over perfection.
Mm.
One simple action item or one simple step goes so much further than nothing at all, right? Say you
Yes.
do your action item or your habit that you're working on 5 times one week, and then the next week you miss one day, so you just kind of throw the towel in, you don't think you're going to do it at all, and you
Mhm.
do none that week. Okay, great. Maybe you did 5 the first week, but the second you did none. Versus someone who is trying your habit, dabbles in it maybe 2 times the first week. Okay, they're starting to build that muscle, showing up for themselves. And then the next week, because they showed up for themselves a few times and they weren't striving for perfection, they weren't striving for this big, unattainable, intimidating number, then the
Yeah.
next week they do it maybe 3 to 4 times. amazing. They're already building that consistency, and not that it's a competition or not comparison, but they've already made further steps than someone who was aiming for perfection and then felt like failure and dropped the whole thing, right? We want to build that
Mhm.
momentum and that compound effect, and that's the beauty of consistency. And life happens. Life is always going to happen. We always want to bring in adaptability as well. So maybe that person, they did the 2 times, then the 3 or 4 times, and then next week something happened and they couldn't. If they bring in compassion and grace for themselves and then show up the next week, that is going to feel so much better than that mentality of rigidity and perfection, right? So we really want to bring in adaptability, grace, balance, consistency. That is the feeling, and that is the theme around your routine, around your lifestyle, around your habits in your healthiest, wealthiest self, rather than perfectionism and punishment and all those icky feelings that I feel like is normally experienced when you're trying out a new routine or trying to be healthier, right? It feels
Yeah.
so much better to bring in the balance, the ease, the consistency, the adaptability.
So much better. I love this. And I love your unique approach to this because it's just like, oh, it's all about you. It's all about us. And it's not squeezing yourself into this mold to like fit or to make something happen. It just feels so easeful and light and doable, which is what we want when we're becoming our healthiest, wealthiest selves. I love this. This is incredible. So, I would love to hear tips and tricks that you share with your clients that you feel called to share with us to become our healthiest, wealthiest selves.
Okay, so the one I mentioned before about tapping into your passion, that's a really great one because, as I mentioned, that really turns on your intuition, that turns on your gut connection to your authentic self, to your higher self, where you can get downloads and clarity and really tune into what you want. So that's a really big one in terms of building your healthiest, wealthiest self in your way, in your aligned way, is really listening to your intuition. Another tip that I can offer, I sort of touched on it briefly just in that last question on breaking things down. We want them to be small, attainable, and not feel so intimidating. So
Yeah.
if you have a habit in mind, let's say you want to start drinking more water. You feel like you're
Mhm.
dehydrated, you feel like you know that would make you feel good. You want to aim for maybe 2 liters a day. Or sorry, I'm Canadian. We say liters. I'm not sure what the conversion is, but 2 big bottles of water a day. Let's
Yes.
say that's your goal. Um, and right now you're drinking like half a bottle. You know that you're not getting enough. The approachable, sustainable micro step way would be to meet you are where you're at. So as we said, you're drinking half a bottle a day. Rather than go from half a bottle to the full 2 liters, you're probably going to be peeing every 30 seconds. You're probably going to
Yep.
be so full, it's so uncomfortable. It's a drastic change than what you're used to. And that's going to throw you off. You're going to have that one day experience and go, if this is what being hydrated feels like, I don't want it, right? That's not the
Mhm.
point. We want it to feel good. So, meeting you where you're at, whatever habit, I know I'm talking about water. This could be for steps. This could be for moving your body. This could be for reading, whatever it is, fill in the blank here. But meet
Mhm.
yourself where you're at and take the smallest, not the smallest, but the small stepping stone to that next level. So, let's say you're at half a bottle of water. Let's let's try 1 bottle of water,
Yeah.
right? Let's try that for a week. We're not increasing it too fast. We're not trying to jump the gun and be at our end destination too early. We want this to feel really good. We want this to be sustainable and last.
Mm.
So, again, as I mentioned, like implement or insert your own habit here, but
Yeah.
meet yourself where you're at, increase it a little bit, and let it stay in that for a little bit, whether that's a week, whether that's 2 weeks. We really want this to feel easeful. We want there to
Mhm.
be spaciousness in the time to implement because as humans, sometimes any change. We don't always like change. So we really want to give that time and space to allow it to feel good. And then once it feels good, that little change, okay, then we're ready to take it up a little bit more, right? Then the next week or 2 weeks, you're aiming for a bottle and a half because now that feels good. Whatever it is, I know I'm talking about water here, but really bringing in
Love it.
that spaciousness, that time to implement, and making it feel really attainable. We're not shooting for the moon. We're not doing anything crazy. We're getting our body and mind adjusted to this new routine, this new version, because we're not
Yes.
doing this just for a checklist to say we did it, to get it over with for a month and then go back to the normal or go back to
Mhm.
our old routine, right? We want this to be a new lifestyle. We're trying to show up as our healthiest, wealthiest version of ourselves. And that is a new way of living. That is a new lifestyle. So we want this to last forever beyond just the 1 or 2 weeks that you're doing it for, right? So that's
Mhm.
why we really want this long time to implement this spaciousness, this grace. And before you know it, you will, let's say 2 months down the line, effortlessly be drinking the 2 bottles of water, maybe even three, because now it feels good and you like it and you're noticing the positive effects. It is just becoming effortless for you. And that is the goal. We don't want it to feel
Mm.
hard. We want it to feel easy, natural, and good in your body. So that is a really fun tip that I like to share of really breaking it down and not putting so much pressure on yourself to
Yes.
reach your goal in the next week, right? That's not
Mhm.
realistic. When you're changing your life, it takes time.
Mm.
Mhm.
I love that. That helps to take off the pressure because we do think like, okay, I'm forming a new habit and it needs to be set in stone and I need to do this. And then, like, our bodies, our nervous systems are like, no, I can't do this. This is too big of a habit change. So I love that incremental, ease into it, really allow yourself to maintain it where it feels good and then increase from there. And you're so right. It's a lifestyle. It's not an overnight shift.
No, it is not. It is also an identity shift. That is the work in Kelly's world. And it flows out into every aspect of your life. If you want to be the healthiest, wealthiest version of you and you feel like you're not there, if you remain operating in the old identity, you're going to stay in those old habits, those self sabotaging habits, that self sabotaging cycle of perfection and off that thing. It really takes an identity shift to change your life, to change your lifestyle, to start showing up as the healthiest, wealthiest you. And I know you love talking about identity shifting, and it truly is the missing piece to changing your life. And yeah, it is so powerful.
hmm So I know that you're teaching the inner works, the inner shifts to allow us to have an identity shift of becoming our healthiest, wealthiest selves. And I would love to hear a behavior or an action that comes with the identity of our healthiest, wealthiest selves. And I know that there could be like 11 different ones that are just marinating in your field. But whatever is coming through for us, a behavior or action to shift into the identity of our healthiest, wealthiest selves that we can start pulling in and implementing today.
Okay, I love this. And this is something that came up in my latest workshop, Main Character Camp, was I had my clients craft a menu of things that felt really good for them that they could choose from at any time because as I said, we're not striving for perfection. We're not trying to do the same thing all the time. You're going to get bored of that. We want fun,
Yeah.
we want easefulness. So having a menu really allows you to pick and choose and really ask yourself, like, what do I want today? How do I want to feel? What feels really good for me?
Mm.
So in this menu, as I mentioned, we are holistic beings. So you could have different menus for different areas or just a general feel good menu. And when you want a little spark of a healthy habit, you choose from it. So I'm going to give some examples, and I really want you to, or I invite you to tune into what feels good, take what resonates, and leave what doesn't. You may have your own creative downloads or intuitive downloads in terms of the things that you want to start implementing or choosing from. So I invite you to listen to that guidance or take some of my ideas as inspiration. Some of my favorite healthy habits include going for a walk, maybe a 10-minute walk post meal. That could feel really good. You
Ooh,
could
yeah.
have a 10-minute stretching routine. It could even be 5 minutes. We don't need to add the time frame to add the pressure, but finding stretching in your day, giving yourself that mobility, that that movement. You could also maybe try a new form of workout. Maybe you like workout classes, and maybe there is a new workout class in your area you want to try. That could feel really good. Another
Mhm.
one is I know it's the summer and I love the fresh seasonal produce right now. Fruits and berries are my candy. So maybe a menu item for you is going to your local farmer's market and picking up some beautiful fresh produce to snack on, or even bake with,
Mhm.
or something that feels really good. I want you, when you're thinking of these items too, when you are either writing them down or thinking of them, I want it to really spark that sort of giddy excitement. You feel excited and you want to do it. Because as we've
Mhm.
said, your habits aren't going to work if you don't like it or you don't want to do it. We want you to genuinely be excited to live your day and implement these habits. So that for me makes me excited and giddy. Another one could be starting your morning off with lemon water, or it doesn't even have to
Mhm.
be in the morning, adding lemon to your water at any point. You could also try implementing some self love. Maybe you look in the mirror and eye gaze, look at yourself in the eyes rather than your body, and give yourself a compliment. That was a really powerful one, and I really love that tool. It really allows you to see yourself for you rather than the physical, which a lot of the times we get stuck on. And
Mhm.
your healthiest, wealthiest self, she loves herself, right? And that is a big, so that's a really good way to show up for yourself. I think I'm going to give two more
Okay.
examples. Another one is gratitude journaling about your life and yourself. Again, this is pulling in that self-love, bringing in that feeling of gratitude. The energy of gratitude is so powerful and magnetic. You just go about your day so different. You feel your shoulders back, your heart is open. You just feel so good. So that is a really great healthy habit to implement. And
Mhm.
the last one could be going for a mindfulness color walk. I know I mentioned walking before, but this is a really fun way to merge mindfulness, kind of having a meditative moment, maybe allowing yourself to just quiet your mind, going for a walk. And what you do on a mindfulness color walk is you choose a color before your walk, you set an intention and you just notice. You notice in your environment. It gets you aware of your surroundings, kind of gets you out of your head, in your body, and you're seeing your environment and you're noticing the beautiful colors all around the world. It's a very magical practice. And that's a really, if that feels good and fun, that is a really fun habit that you can implement at any time in your day. So that is just an example of a little menu that you can put together.
Mhm.
And you ask yourself in the day or the week, whenever you're setting this up, what would feel really good for me today? And you give yourself permission to choose, to make the choice for yourself rather than forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do, because that is not where success is, that is not where it feels good. So really giving yourself permission to choose you and choose the fun things that you want to do. So that is
Mhm.
a little behavior action that our healthiest wealthiest self, well actually quite a few, that you can start to implement. Just a little creative inspiration exercise for you.
I love that. And I love that you call it a menu because we get to choose. And that is the behavior of the identity of the healthiest, wealthiest self because she chooses, because she shows up for herself, she prioritizes herself, she chooses to love herself. And like what you said, just recapping here, she feels excited and wants to do it. That is the backing, that's the frequency of the healthiest, wealthiest woman identity. She feels excited. She wants to do it. She wants to show up for herself. She wants to love herself. And I love that you shared that because, like, and I'm just recapping that because I know those who are listening, it's like, yes, I can feel that in my body. I can see myself becoming her, right? Because right now, so many of us are stuck in our current identity or our default identity, and we can only see what's in front of us. We can only see our reflection in the mirror. And a lot of us are like, okay, I want to wear different clothes. I want to be a different weight. I want to look different. And that's all we can see. And tapping her into her healthiest, wealthiest self, it's like, yeah, you can feel her. And then you get to become her and collapse time and bring her in. Ooh, I love this.
Yes, yes, yes.
That feels really good. And I know that you've been through an identity shift yourself. And I'd love to hear. just, personally what you've been through in the mastermind with your transformations and your wins. Because again, wherever we are in our current circumstances, a lot of us can only see what we see staring back at us, and we don't allow ourselves to tap into the possibility of who we are becoming. So I'd love to hear from you, your transformation of your identity shift and wins, so that it can activate the possibility of those listening and who they are becoming.
Yes, I love that. I definitely have been through a big identity shift in your mastermind in the past 6 months. Even 6 months ago, I am such a different person in my health, in my business, in how I'm showing up in my everyday. It is honestly so incredible. And that's what comes with the identity shifting. So I think the biggest thing for me that has shifted was 6 months ago, where I was in my business. Well, I can't even, I, not that I can't say that, but 6 months ago, I didn't feel like I had a business. I felt like I was hiding behind the scenes. It was my dream and my mission to really put my mom and my mom's business on on the radar, on a platform to really help her build that up. And I was so proud of doing that. And she is my biggest supporter. I love her so much. She was the one who actually encouraged me to go back to school and explore health and wellness coaching. So she is my number one fan. But where I was, I wasn't allowing myself to see myself. I wasn't allowing myself to be seen by others. So it felt safer to be hiding in the behind the scenes, to let my mom be shining, to let my mom be growing, and me just quietly be in the back. Even though my soul was calling for something bigger, I was literally going to school to become an expert in this new field. It didn't feel attainable. It didn't feel safe for me to be seen on my own. And a big thing there too, I didn't want to, I think I had this limiting belief that I would abandon my mom if I was standing on my own, which, as I mentioned, she's my biggest supporter, and there's no abandoning. We still work together hand in hand. We've had a vision of our business and where we want to take our business for so long that that is not going anywhere. And of course, that wouldn't be threatened. So the work that I really embarked on in the past 6 months was allowing myself to be seen, working on that safety work, working on that rewiring, that it is safe for me to be seen and it is safe for me to see myself. When that happened is when quantum leaps started happening, when our business started booming, and when I allowed myself to be an expert and to create my own business as well. So, in the past 6 months, I have now created my own website with my own offerings as a wellness coach, which is amazing. Um, in our Reiki business, we have seen quantum leaps in terms of income, in terms of wealth that we're bringing in that I did not even imagine was fathomable for us. We actually, one of our big wins in the past 6 months that, again, I past me couldn't even wrap my head around this. We had a 19K month in 33 days. We went from like 2K, 5K months to now consistently bringing in and having 19,000 in 33 days, which is just so surreal. And that is really the evidence to show that we have quantum leaped in our identities and how we're allowing to see ourselves. And then the universe responded by rewarding us with these amazing opportunities. And again, we feel so great because and grateful because as we're expanding income wise, we're able to help and serve so many more people, which is why we do what we do. So it really is just such an empowering feeling. And yeah, that is just some of the things that have happened in the past 6 months. We are also now working on an online course with both Cindy's my mom, her skills as a Reiki master, as an energy healer, with my health and wellness coaching. And we've had this vision for so long. And now that I have identity shifted and I allowed myself to be seen, allowed myself to be seen as an expert, now our vision is coming to life. And we are creating this beautiful full course, full person transformation, holistic transformation course that I am so excited about. And I know if I was operating in my old identity, we would either just, I would still be spinning my wheels, or I wouldn't think it's possible. I'd be procrastinating. I would not be here creating the business and life of my dreams. So that is a little bit of my identity shift to be seen, to be seen in all my gifts, to just become more. I'm allowing myself to become more, and I'm allowing myself to become all that I'm meant to be. And even just saying that statement, declaring that to the world feels so empowering. And yeah, I am a whole new woman, and I'm very proud of that. And yeah, just the growth that has happened is so incredible.
Oh, I love this. I'm just celebrating you so much. I wish I could scream, but I don't want to scream in the microphone. But this is amazing because even you said it because you know you've experienced this firsthand. It's the identity shift is the missing piece, right? And for those listening, you hear me say day in and day out, money responds to you, desires respond to you, greater opportunities respond to you when you lead, when you move, when you go first. And the very first step to going first is shifting your identity. And it's a decision to see yourself and to stop waiting for others to see you or waiting for others to give you permission to see yourself. So I'm celebrating you so much because honestly, that decision, it's not an easy one to make. It's not an easy one to make,
No.
right? So choosing yourself and choosing to decide you get to have more for yourself. Oh, and then to reprogram your body and your mind to feel safe receiving more. And then the result is creating more. So I love this. I love you so much. This identity shift is everything. And what I love about this is that how you've experienced your own personal identity shift because you've been through it, because you know what's required to have an identity shift, you now have the platform and the embodiment to teach your clients and to really hold them through becoming their healthiest, wealthiest selves. So I love that so much.
Aw, thank you so much. And you are just, oh, everything that you teach is so potent and magical and magnetic, and you truly create and facilitate these beautiful transformations. And I'm so grateful to you because I wouldn't be here without you. So thank you to my amazing coach, Kelly. You are a gift to this earth, and I love you.
Thank you. I received. I received. Oh my God, I love this. I could cry. Ah, I need a moment.
Aw.
Okay. I love that. That was so nice. Thank you. So tell us how we can work with you, where we can find you, all of the things.
Okay, so my newly launched website is NicoleBainWellness.com. On there, you can find my one-on-one wellness coaching program, which I guide you through 2 months of deep transformation, really embodying your healthiest, wealthiest self, having that identity shift, creating your healthiest, wealthiest lifestyle routine in a attainable, approachable, sustainable way. All the things I talked about today. That is a way to work with me. I also have a workshop if you want to grab the free version, my main character camp. You can grab the replay for that. And also the course that I've been talking about, it is called The Renewal Journey. It is the merging of the energy healing, the inner work, really having that healing from the inside out with creating the healthiest, wealthiest lifestyle, creating those habits, those behaviors, those routines in your new identity to show up as the best version of you. That is the renewal journey. And I actually have a wait list ready if that sounds like something that is going to change your life, which I know it will. You can hop on the wait list. I have a link for that. And yes, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I'm very fired up.
Oh my God, me too. This is amazing. I'm going to put all of that in the show notes. So for those who are feeling the pool, which I know you are, ready to be your healthiest, wealthiest selves, they can connect with you and get into your world and your work. Nicole, I love you. You are incredible. You are a gift to this earth. And I'm so happy that you decided to see yourself in all of your gifts, in all of your superpowers. You're allowing yourself to take center stage and shine. So thank you so much for sharing your work, your wisdom, your magic. I'm so grateful for you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Kelly.
If you loved this episode as much as I did, please take a screenshot and tag me on Instagram at @the_badassbabe so I can share you and your incredible body of work to my network and celebrate you. And as a special abundance gift, please give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Take a screenshot, send it to me on Instagram, and I'll send you my sexy sales hypnosis to rewire yourself rich in